Have I been too quick to judge? Here I am sitting in a warm donut shop in the middle of Tokyo. The rich aroma of dark Japanese coffee mixes with the fragrance of strawberries riding my half-eaten eclair. In contrast, 1,000 polka-dotted raindrops each reflect a mini panorama of the elderly Japanese man sitting on a cardboard box that just moments ago I felt afraid of. He was sitting close to the building with a newspaper on his head, blocking the still drizzling kosame. I began to feel bad for him. All he had done yesterday was help me with my Japanese, and yet for that good deed I mentally labeled him as a possible stalker. On my way out of the donut shop, I asked for a bag. Fukuro o kudasai. I realized later I had asked for an owl because I lengthened the word. I should have said fukuro and not fukuro. I put my remaining enzeru cream in the bag and then walked next door to the convenience and bought 2 umbrellas, which are called kasa in Japanese. Then, after cautiously approaching the old man shivering in the rain, I said, "Thank you for helping me out yesterday." He slipped the newspaper off of his head and looked toward me with a confused look. I said, "Yesterday, you taught me negi and tamanegi?" He scrunched his face, waving his hand dismissively towards me. "Washi wa eigo ga wakaran." I only understood the word eigo, which means English. It also sounds like he said some version of wakarimasen, which means I don't understand. Just to be sure, I said, "Eigo ga wakarimasu ka?" To which he shook his head no and again waved me away with his hand. I don't get it. He was the same guy from yesterday, I'm sure. His jacket, his shirt, his pants, and even the pitch of his voice is the same. I wanted to say, "If you're hungry, you can have this extra donut," but my Japanese level is less than a kindergartner at this point. So again, I focused on what I knew I would reliably be able to say. I said, "Dozo," as I pushed the bag toward him again. He took the bag and looked inside, then back up to me. He said, "Arigato." Then, without any hesitation, he pulled the donut from the bag and began eating. I wanted to tell him about the umbrella I had bought for him, but only remembered how to say "also" with the particle mo, so that's what I did. I said, "Kasa mo dozo." As he swallowed a mouthful of the donut, he stared at me, then reaching out, took the umbrella saying, "Shikkari shite sou na kasa da na." I heard the word kasa, but I was clueless as to what the rest of the sentence meant. The man said, "Suman na," then asked me the same question the man on the train did, except this time I understood it. "Doko no kuri no kata desu ka?" It's hard to describe the feeling of hearing a phrase and understanding it flawlessly. I said, "Amerikajin desu." He just nodded, and then, in a heavy Japanese accent, said, "Thank you." He then said, "Namae wa nante iu no?" Namae means name, so he must be asking what my name is, but the only way I learned to ask someone's name was, "O namae wa nan desu ka?" I thought to answer, "Jeff desu," but I remembered a video I watched that explained, "Tomo shimasu" is a more polite way, so I said, "Jeff tomo shimasu." There was something else I was supposed to say after this, but I forget what it was, so I just said, "Anata wa?" to mean, "And you?" Suddenly, just like yesterday, his face froze, and he raised his arms in fear as he backed away. And again, this followed with an instant calm, and his perfect English returned. "Good job in the donut shop, and I'm sure Mr. Yamazaki appreciates your kindness." Mr. Yamazaki? That's his name? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Millions of neurons fired from my brain folds as lightning shot across the sky. I had to figure out if Mr. Yamazaki was schizophrenic, or if I had entered some crazy anime world where ghouls were taking over, like in Tokyo Ghoul. So if you're not Mr. Yamazaki, who are you? That's the thing. I'm not sure who or where I am. What do you mean? I mean my entire world is dark, like I'm blind. And until a few days ago, I hadn't heard a human voice in maybe a month. A human voice? I asked. Yeah, nothing. It wasn't until you were on the train going to Yoyogi Koen that I heard anything but random clanking sounds. I asked him, "Were you the old man that I gave my seat up to because the Yusenseki was full on the train?" No, but I could hear the conversation. He stopped mid-sentence, The old man's head dropped down. He was immediately in a deep sleep with a low snoring sound coming from the depths of his chest, like the growl of a grizzly bear in hibernation. I knelt down and spoke his name. Yamazaki-san? No response. I said it louder. Yamazaki-san? Still no response. It didn't seem like he was going to wake, and I wouldn't know what to say to him even if he did. I stood back up as the rain began to gain strength. I opened Mr. Yamazaki's umbrella and leaned it against his shoulder. I decided I would visit the man again tomorrow after I researched how to ask him bigger questions in Japanese. But first, I would need to change my SIM card so I could have access to Google Translate. Or maybe, if I was lucky, the ghost, alien, or his schizophrenic English personality would show up again. Either way, next time I see him, I want to be ready. So tonight, I'm going to study a lot.